You say you're tired of how things are going. You say you want more control over your life. But every time something goes wrong, you immediately look for what caused it. Who did it? What happened to you? What made it harder? That habit isn't protecting you. It's keeping you exactly where you are. Subscribe for daily discipline. Most people live in reaction mode. Something doesn't work out. They scan for reasons why. They find them quickly. Then they feel justified. The explanation becomes the ending. And nothing actually changes. This isn't about denying reality. Bad circumstances exist. People fail you sometimes. Timing works against you. Systems are broken. All of that can be true. But here's what nobody tells you. The moment you finish explaining why something happened, you stop moving. Your brain treats the explanation like a conclusion. It satisfies the need to understand. And understanding feels like progress. But it isn't. You're standing still while time keeps moving. Blame is a comfort mechanism. It protects you from the harder question. What do I do now? That question has no emotional release. It doesn't make you feel better. It just sits there, waiting. And most people would rather feel justified than feel responsible. Because responsibility is heavier. It doesn't care how you got here. It only asks what you're going to do about it. That weight makes people uncomfortable. So they avoid it. They stay in the explanation phase. They talk about what happened. They revisit it. They share it. They build entire identities around it. And years pass like that. Not because they're weak, but because blame is easier to carry than action. It asks nothing of you. You can hold on to it forever. Responsibility has a deadline. It demands something today. That's why most people choose the story over the step, the narrative over the decision, the reason over the response. And they wonder why nothing moves forward. You've been here before. Something didn't go the way you wanted. You knew exactly why. You had the full breakdown. The factors. The timing. The people involved. You weren't wrong about any of it. But that clarity didn't change anything. You're still dealing with the same problem. Maybe in a different form. Maybe with a different name. But it's the same pattern. And if you're honest, you've been in this spot more than once. Not because you're incapable, but because you stop at the explanation. You treat understanding like the finish line. It isn't. Understanding is just the starting point. What comes after is harder. It's quieter. It doesn't feel satisfying. It's the part where you accept that it doesn't matter how you got here. You're here. And no one is coming to fix it for you. That realization doesn't feel empowering at first. It just feels heavy. But that weight is the only thing that moves you forward. Because once you stop waiting for fairness, you start making decisions. Real ones. Not the ones you talk about. The ones you execute. Even when you're tired. Even when it shouldn't be your job. Even when it feels unfair. That's where most people break. They want responsibility to feel fair. It doesn't. It just is. And the longer you wait for it to feel right, the longer you stay stuck. You don't need a better explanation. You need a different response. You don't need to understand it more. You need to act on it now. That shift doesn't happen in your head. It happens in your behavior. When you stop rehearsing what went wrong. When you stop waiting for acknowledgement. When you stop needing someone else to agree that it wasn't your fault. You just move. And that movement, even if it's small, breaks the cycle. Not dramatically, not all at once, but it breaks it, because action has momentum. Blame doesn't. Blame keeps you in the same conversation. Action takes you somewhere else. And the more you choose action over explanation, the less you need the explanation at all. You stop caring who's at fault. You stop needing the story to be complete. You just handle it. That's the difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck. It's not intelligence. It's not opportunity. It's this: the willingness to carry the weight, even when it's not yours, even when it's unfair, even when no one will see it. That's where real control comes from. Not from avoiding responsibility, but from taking it before anyone asks you to. Stop explaining what happened. Start deciding what happens next. That's the shift. It's not motivational. It's mechanical. When something goes wrong, give yourself 10 seconds. Acknowledge it. Then ask one question. What's the move? Not why it happened. Not who's responsible. Just what you're going to do. That question cuts through everything. It doesn't care about fairness. It doesn't wait for clarity. It just demands a response. And once you answer it, you act. Immediately. Not tomorrow. Not after you process it. No. That's how you break the pattern. Most people live in a permanent state of almost ready, almost clear, almost past it. They're waiting for the feeling to match the decision. It won't. The feeling comes after. You act first. Then the clarity follows. Then the confidence follows. Then the control follows. But it starts with the move. The small one. The one that doesn't fix everything. The one that just breaks the stillness. That's all you need. One decision that isn't about understanding. Just movement. Do that enough times and something shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone things happen to. You start seeing yourself as someone who responds. Not perfectly. Not always successfully. But consistently. And consistency is what changes everything. Because over time, it rewrites how you see problems. They stop feeling like traps. They start feeling like conditions. And conditions can be worked with. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need ideal circumstances. You just need to be someone who moves when it's time to move. That's it. That's the entire difference between the life you have and the life you want. It's not a secret. It's not a strategy. It's a refusal to stay still. So stop waiting for it to make sense. Stop waiting for it to feel fair. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's your turn. It's your turn right now. Not because you're ready, but because time doesn't wait. And neither should you. Subscribe for daily discipline.